Darby Reviews here. I'm here to show off my horror collection for 2022. Here we go. Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2, my favorite movie of all time. Army of Darkness, Shout Factory. The Nightmare on Elm Street Blu-ray collection, which is signed by the star from the second movie. Friday the 13th, 1 through 8. Didn't bother getting the Shout Factory collection. Freddy vs. Jason. That was the first movie I saw at the drive-in. Or no, it wasn't, but it was the first horror movie I saw at the drive-in back in 2003. The remake of Friday the 13th. Honestly, not a bad movie. People hate that one for some reason. Halloween, the Shout Factory, all the movies, Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills. I probably will get Halloween Ends, even though it wasn't really that great. Chucky, the complete series, the Cult of Chucky, the remake of Chucky, well, Child's Play, all the Saw movies, Jigsaw, Spiral, Final Destination, the Final Destination 5, Night of the Living Dead. This is the best version to get. The ever expensive Dawn of the Dead Blu-ray. I actually recently got that. Day of the Dead, Creepshow, really underrated, Creepshow 2, Tales from the Hood, People Under the Stairs, Shout Factory, Scream 1, Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4. I had Scream 5, but it was a used copy, and it was too scratched up, and it stopped working, so, yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Exorcist, Silence of the Lambs, Psycho, Psycho 2, Psycho 3. Oh, shoot. Psycho 3 is mixed up with Psycho. I like to have it. There we go. Psycho 3, Psycho 4, Mobile Heptep, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which I have it signed. It's kind of hard to see. Oh, there you go. By the people who did the music for the theme song, the Dickies. Maniac Cop, Bruce Campbell, huge fan of him. Maniac Cop 2, almost as good as the first one. Maniac Cop 3, which just was okay. Phantasm 2, which was, this was, out of print now. Phantasm 3, pretty good. Phantasm 4 was decent. Phantasm 5, low budget, but not the best conclusion. Jaws, the classic Jaws. Jaws, the 3 movie collection, which includes Jaws 2, 3, and 4. Return of the Living Dead, the original Poltergeist, Sleepaway Camp. Kind of hard to see, unfortunately. The lighting is kind of crappy. Leprechaun, all the movies for the Leprechaun, including that garbage Origins. The only one I have not seen is the Leprechaun Returns. Pet Cemetery, the original. Carrie. The Shining, which some people either they love it or hate it. I know somebody that really does not like this movie, but I still think it's a good movie. Is it a tad overrated? Probably. Dr. Sleep, another underrated one, is the sequel to The Shining. Stephen King's It, 1990, Tim Curry, great movie. The 2017 It, I'm sorry about the lighting, guys. It Part 2 wasn't as good as the first one, but... And then we have the Universal Monster movies. Dracula, which has forgot how many movies are in there. The Frankenstein. Really like the artwork for these. I wish they were like kind of steelbookish, but they're not. The Mummy collection, the Invisible Man, the Wolf Man, and the Creature of the Black Lagoon, which I find very underrated. Ice Cream Man. It's a really funny movie. Jack Frost. This one's a classic one too. People used to mix up the 1998 Jack Frost with the 1997 one at Blockbuster. Hostel 1 and 2. I don't have 3. Kind of wish I did. The Wishmaster collection. I remember only the first 2 was worth watching. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. I feel like this one's overhated. Get Out. The Critters collection from Shout Factory. It's kind of hard to see. Might have to just take the whole thing out. Yeah, the Critters. I don't have the last one. Never saw the last one. The Fly collection, which includes the original. It has the original, the 2 sequels, and the remake, and the sequel to the remake. Shaun of the Dead, Deep Blue Sea, Man with the Screaming Brain, which I wish was on Blu-ray, The Thing, Shocker, which is another underrated one by Wes Craven, You're Next, Vincent Price, The Bat, The House on Haunted Hill, and The Last Man on Earth. Motel Hell. This is one of my dad's favorites. Basket Case. Basket Case was one of the first horror movies I ever seen. And thanks to Scott and my dad, I loved horror movies ever since that and Evil Dead. So those were like the first ones. Basket Case 2, which has not been open, and I've never seen the sequels for them. Basket Case 3, still I haven't seen them. I gotta open it up and watch that. The Candyman, or classic one. Cat's Eye. Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I'm yet to get the third one. Lon Chaney's Phantom of the Opera. In my opinion, that's the best version. And Nosferatu. Annabelle Horror. It's the remake with Ryan Reynolds, which I actually feel like he does a pretty good job. The Stuff. That's a classic one to me. Ash vs. Evil Dead, Season 1, 2, and 3, Maximum Overdrive, Drag Me to Hell, the Shout Factory Blu-ray. The only 4K movies I'll ever have on horror movies, except for maybe one day I'll get Halloween on 4K and Nightmare on Elm Street on 4K. The only movies I ever really have on 4K, because 4K is really not all that worth it to me. Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness, The Shout Factory, and those are like my 3 favorite movies of all time. Well, those are like my favorite horror movies of all time. Cabin Fever. I saw that movie when I wasn't supposed to, and what's funny is one of the Power Rangers from Lost Galaxy is one of the characters, so I can't take her seriously after watching, rewatching it. Dracula vs. Frankenstein, not a good movie. The Hills Have Eyes, the original, and The Hills Have Eyes remake with the second one. Urban Legend Final Cut, and this is Phantasm 1 and 2, but it has like a X-rated version of it or something. The Blob. That's the 1988 remake, which is actually a very good movie and superior than the original. Beware the Blob, and then the Blob. I don't know why I didn't have it in proper order. I'm sorry about that, guys. King Kong. The Omen collection does not include the 4th one. The Children of the Corn. The Wolfman from 2010. The Ring, the one movie that messed me up when I saw it in theaters. I have to. This is Jack Frost 2, but it's like a parody version of it. For some reason, they made the real version of it now. So, Children of the Corn, Eight-Legged Freaks is underrated. The Children of the Corn series, which only has 3, 4, 5, I think, not 2. Mama, the AMC Monster Fest Cult Classics, Puppet Master 1, 2, 3, Congo, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and Crime Wave. Revenge of the Spacemen, that's a movie that a friend of mine is in. The Twilight Zone, the complete series, the original one on Blu-ray. I mean, I had to get it, it's a classic. 25 horror classics, zombies, Unbrained. It's a bunch of collections of horror zombie movies. Attack of the Giant Leeches, not a good one. Jeepers Creepers 1, Jeepers Creepers 2. Did not see the last 2 movies, 3 and 4. Did not, or 3 and the remake. Technically, Scooby-Doo is horror related, so I have the complete series of Scooby-Doo on Blu-ray also. Regular Army of Darkness. People Under the Stairs is a regular edition on Blu-ray. The original The Thing was called The Thing from Another World. Kids movie, but Monster House. The Red Dragon. It's underrated. Hannibal. Some people didn't like that one. Malignant. I honestly didn't think this movie was bad. It's either you hate it or you love it. The Phantom of the Paradise, really underrated. My dad likes that one. Candyman 2, The Farewell to the Flesh. Not as good as the first one, and actually is pretty decent. Candyman 3, that amazing artwork for this crappy movie. The third movie sucked. You know, it sucked really bad, honestly. The main character was horrible. Godzilla. Technically, the first Godzilla is a horror movie. Thou Shalt Not Kill, except Sam Raimi as a cult leader. Black Christmas, the original. We don't talk about the 2019 one. That was a piece of crap. Intruder. I can quote this movie a lot. American Psycho. And this one, truly an underrated one. The Stepfather. Shout Factory Misery. Jason Goes to Hell, pretty bad. Jason X, also pretty terrible. These were like custom made things. The Twilight Zone movie. Uncle Sam, this is a classic one to my dad, and my dad used to have the poster of it and used to scare the crap out of me. Uncle Sam Wants You Dead. I wish I knew whatever happened to that poster, but yeah, this is sort of a classic one for me. Nostalgia. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Controversial movie, but it's not even that. Anyway, Street Trash. This is one of my buddy Scott's favorite. And this one I saw it 2001 Maniacs. This was a funny movie. It was basically a porno disguised as a horror movie, honestly. But Annabelle Horror, the original. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, the producer's cut, because there's 2 versions of it. The underrated 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. And the movie that my mom was actually in, Dead Moon Rising. I'm like friends with half of the cast in this movie too. This was a low-budget Louisville movie, and my mom played a zombie. Yeah, it's a low-budget movie, but I still had a lot of fun with it. Dead Alive, a Peter Jackson movie, one of his early ones. I have a copy of it. The Blu-ray and DVD are so expensive, but this is basically the more censored version. Manhunter, that's basically the first Hannibal Lecter movie. The original Evil Dead. This was my mom's copy. I'm gonna plan on getting an upgrade of Planet Terror. That's a kind of underrated one. And then, let's see, Deranged. It was okay. Motel Hell on the DVD. And then here's a like 5-movie collection, low budget. Some of them have like one A-star actor that had to be in like a low budget horror movie because their careers went down the drain or something. But and that is all my horror movies.